fennel cough ease honey. And you can make this honey and then you can take it like by the teaspoonful. So you could take a teaspoon 1 or 2 or 3 times a day. Or what we're going to do is we'll turn it into a tea, and I'll show you how to do that. And so fennel, it's antispasmodic and expectorant. It's good for relieving spasms, coughs, excess mucus. Is antispasmodic. It opens things up so that the body can expectorate. It opens the chest. It relieves wheezing, resolves phlegm, and it basically really relaxes the mucosa of the lungs. And so it specifically relieves bronchial spasms in the lungs. It relaxes the blood vessels and opens circulation in the lungs. So, it's really good for helping to clear phlegm, relieving coughs, mild coughs, serious coughs. It calms a cough with bronchitis. And it really helps to expectorate gunk from the lungs. It can help with a dry hacking cough, a wet mucousy cough. And, I rely on fennel. My son has never been on antibiotics, and he has a ton of lung issues. So he was born in an emergency C-section. During our labor, his head got stuck on my pelvic bone, and he couldn't get out. And so we had to have an emergency C-section. And I bring this up because when a baby goes through the birth canal, their lungs are squeezed out. And so, if you need a C-section, our C-section, it saved our lives, both of our lives, really. But if you don't have to have one, don't have one, because that squeezing out of the lungs is really important. And I have just read tons of studies since then about how a lot of kids have really susceptible lungs after being born C-section. And, Gabriel, he came out with his lungs, he came out wheezing, I say. And everything goes to his lungs. If he doesn't sleep enough, he has a cough. His lungs are so susceptible, really, really susceptible. He wakes up in the night coughing. He, just really ever since he was born, we are always dealing with his lungs. He's super, super susceptible, and fennel has been our helper. When he wakes up coughing in the night, I do a short steep fennel tea, and I keep things at bay. It has never turned into an infection. I feel very, very grateful for fennel and how much it has helped us. I don't think we would be where we are at. I think he would have been on antibiotics multiple times. And so this honey that I'm going to show you is really it just helps us so much. And so, it's strong, it's warm, it's heating, it's stimulating, it opens things up, it gets things up, and you drink it for a short period of time when you need it, right? It's not something you just drink all the time, every day. And I especially like to have this honey made up for those late night or middle of the night needs when, I make up the honey and I just put it in a cup of hot water and I can just go be like, here, drink this, and I do that. I treat him in the night. As soon as I hear a wheezing or something, I do this. I use this with him. And this is a really easy way to get herbs into, especially children, children over 1. So with the honey that you're using, you want to try to find a local beekeeper in your area. If you have beekeepers that sell honey, and purchase the honey from them that's raw and has not been heated, because some of the store-bought honey is processed and heated, and many commercial honeys are, they're not labeled with the information of whether they are cooked or not. So when you buy honey from someone local, you can ask them what their processing methods are and if they heat the honey or not. So the honey also is antibacterial and antioxidant, and you want to get a raw honey that's not been heated and try to find something in your area. And the thing is that by adding herbs and honey together, the honey helps to deliver the herbs deeper into the body. It enhances, delivers, and activates the herbs. It's also warming and moving, and really it helps to deliver the herb. So you're not only getting the medicinal properties of the fennel and the spices, but you are also, the honey itself is very warming and moving, and it's a delivery mechanism. We use honey also to soothe the lungs and to disinfect and to help take the herbs and spices deeper into the body. So let me show you how we do this. Okay, so here's our honey. And this recipe, I'm going to make just a little bit. I'm going to use a half a cup of honey, and I'm going to just really fill it with herbs and spices. So I'm going to just do about a half a cup. Here we go. And then we're going to put in our spices. So we're going to put in a tablespoon of fennel, and the spices need to be powdered. So we've got our powdered fennel, tablespoon of powdered fennel, and we're going to put in a teaspoon of powdered ginger, which is also very opening and disinfecting to the lungs. And then I also have some powdered anise seed. And this is another really powerful antispasmodic and expectorant for the lungs, and really complements fennel, and they really taste good together. So we're putting in our ginger, our anise, and then we're going to put in some powdered black pepper. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm going to probably sneeze. So we're going to also put in a teaspoon of our black pepper. All right, so we've got a tablespoon of powdered fennel, teaspoon of ginger, teaspoon of anise seed, a teaspoon of black pepper, and then we're going to mix it together well. Okay, we're going to really stir these spices in. And you know, this honey will, I mean, it'll last, it'll last as long as the honey doesn't just kind of like crystallize. You can still use it if the honey's crystallized, but at some point the honey just starts to dissipate. So I definitely keep it for a year. And what I do is I just put the lid on and store it in a cupboard. And so here you have it. I mean, was that simple? I mean, did you notice how simple that was? I mean, I think I spent less than a minute mixing all that stuff together. So here is your cough ease honey. All right. Now, again, you can store it and just leave it just like this. And if you're really in an emergency, or not really an emergency, but one way to take it, I'll demonstrate this. It's gonna be very good. You just take a teaspoon and you go like this. That's a very compliant, you can really get your kids to do that. So that's one way. So you can take like a little teaspoon 2 or 3 times a day to help open up the lungs and reduce a cough. But really a more effective way to really address the cough is to drink it, is to make a tea with it. And so what we'll do is I'm going to put, I've got some boiling water here, and I'm going to pour it in a cup, just about 1 cup. And then I will take 1 tablespoon of the honey that we've made, teaspoon to a tablespoon, and I can really feel the black pepper. It's just already, I can feel things moving. Okay, so I'm going to take this tablespoon of my herbal honey, of the herbal honey that we've made, and we're just going to stir it in the cup. And we're going to stir it until the honey has really mixed with the water. Now the heat from the water and from the tea, so basically we just made a tea. We just made a tea here. We took the honey, we put it in the hot water, and we've got an herbal tea. And you just really mix it well, and it's ready to go. So your herbal honeys, one of the reasons why I love having them on hand is they can be turned into an instant tea, right? And so again, if you need something quick, this is a good way to go. And then also the heat from the water helps to deliver the, basically the medicine and the antispasmodic, the antibacterial properties to the lungs. So this, yeah, that's good. That's strong. That's not a tea that you're going to go, oh yeah, I want to drink that every day. Maybe you will, but it's strong. It's moving, it's penetrating. The fennel is getting in there. It's reducing the spasms. The pepper's getting in there, just really increasing your circulation. And the aniseed is also very antispasmodic, and ginger is just an incredibly disinfecting spice for the lungs. And so this tea can help calm a cough and really help disinfect your lungs. And I hope you don't need it, but if you do, it will help you. And I'm glad that you know this remedy.